channel. This is Emily with Sacred Sanctuary. Today we are going to be working on my family room. The family room is the room that suffered the most in our remodel, and it is time to reclaim it. Yes, that's a saw in the middle of our family room. All right, this is not our family room. In order to clean our family room, here is a quick little tour of our laundry/storage room. Our laundry room is actually a second kitchen in our basement that has laundry hookups. We put in a whole bunch of shelves because our little house was built in the 1940s. It's about 80 years old, and there is zero storage in this place. And we don't need this large of a room for a laundry room, so we put shelves here for extra food storage or anything else that you need to store. It does have a countertop, sink, everything that it gets extremely cluttered. In order to clean our family room, I needed to make room for the items in there to be moved into this room. And if you look, we have tools in here. We have extra shampoo, paper towels, anything you can think of. And so my goal for the next couple minutes will be simply to create as many empty spaces as possible. I am getting rid of anything that we don't need anymore, donating, throwing away, and just any inch of space that I can create will be a space that will help us clear out the family room and make it a room that's actually usable. Our goal for our family room is we have teenagers, and we want them to be able to bring friends over and have a room where they don't have to be hanging out with their parents. We normally hang out up in our living room upstairs, but we want them to have their own separate space where they can do what they want. They can play games, they can be with their friends, and not have it be full of tools and lumber and things that ended up there because, I should mention, during 2020, during COVID, just like everyone else, we were stuck inside the walls of our home and decided that we wanted to do a remodel. So we ended up opening up the space between our living room and our kitchen. We put new flooring throughout our home. Most of the rooms got new flooring, paint. We kind of went room by room, taking the room completely apart and rebuilding it. And so we amassed a large volume of tools, a large amount of supplies, spare lumber, so many things. And because the family room was a big empty room that we weren't using, a lot of it ended up there. So we absolutely wanted to reclaim that room, be able to use it, for our family to hang out in. But like I said, we want it to be the cool teen hangout room, so our girls can bring their friends over and have a nice safe space, their own sanctuary in the basement, where they could hang out and have fun. That was a little bit of an overwhelm moment there. Again, getting rid of everything we can, but we need to keep sleeping bags in our camping gear. We need to keep, some things in our home, and we have just such a small space to do it. So condensing all the camping stuff onto one shelf, stuffing it in there. It looks like I'm making zero progress, but I was actually able to make a ton of progress. at this point. I was so excited that, oh, ta-da! I was able to create almost a little more than half of a shelf worth of space. I did a lot of decluttering and cleaning off camera. I moved our chest freezer over to the corner and moved the saw out of the family room into that spot. And just that helped to make it feel so good in here. And also off camera, I was able to replace the blankets that had been over the windows for forever with actual curtains. This is our lumber and tool pile. So here I am sorting through all the different plumbing things, sprinkler parts, just anything that had to do with our house ended up in this jumbled pile. So I needed to sort it out into electrical, plumbing, all the different things. Our furnace, you can actually see it there. Years ago, our furnace had to be replaced and there was a door in that area. But we found out that whoever put the old furnace in, put it in, and then framed the door around it. So the only way to get the old one out when it died was to take out a chunk of the wall. So eventually a project for a future video, I'm so excited. I am going to build a barn door that will cover that up. For now, it has a curtain. Of course, not in this video, not yet. But yeah, eventually it's going to have a sliding barn door so that we can access it. That right there I was showing you is my daughter paints rocks and leaves them everywhere. Everywhere. That was her room. So I was just like, I'll just throw it in there. But she paints these cute little rocks and I find them all over the house. So here I am sorting. These are pieces of molding that we took off. Well, you never know when you're going to need a chunk of molding in an old house like this. And none of the molding matches. So if we put a mismatched piece, no one will notice. So we just kind of save them all in case. We have so many half-done projects around our house. We've gotten 90% done on most of the rooms. But you get to that 90% and it's good enough and you get tired, so you just kind of throw it in a pile. We have all the supplies for these projects. So future videos, you're going to see quite a few of those 10% projects. I'm working hard to get the whole house finished up, the remodel complete. And yeah. So now here I am taking this into the laundry room. I don't know if you saw, but above the chest freezer on the right-hand side of the wall, there were some kind of like shelves that we have installed that are perfect for boards like this. You can put them up and get them up off the ground, out of the way. The blue box there is a sewing machine that I had borrowed from my sister. Oh, change of clothes. This happened over several days. I am a busy working mom. I work at home, but I still have a full-time job and I have kids and all the things. So that means that I have to work when I can. But throughout this video, you'll see a couple of, I call them side quests. I have a little bit of an ADHD style to cleaning and projects and things like that, where I will start something and then I'll be reminded, oh, what about this other thing? This is the first side quest you'll see. Kind of. Like, you know, I unburied this white piece that you see on the floor. That is actually the little track that these sliding mirror doors go on that are for our master bedroom closet. We don't have a walk-in closet. Again, it's a super old home. But so we have these sliding mirror doors, these sliding glass doors. And they're supposed to go in this track. But when we remodeled that room, we took it out so that we could install the new floor. And it just never got put back. It just wasn't a priority. It was working fine. The doors would slide. So, and it was buried in the pile. So why worry about it? Now, while I had this, I probably should have repainted this track. It is rather worn, but to be honest, all I did was clean it out. It had some crud that, you know, over several years will gather in the cracks. And so I just got that out and I went and I installed it off camera. This is, I was using the shop vac before. This is our other vacuum. I know stick vacuums are so popular these days, but I don't have one. I have this and I actually really love it. It is a canister vac. It does have a cord. So, you know, all those things that people don't like, but oh, it works so well. I have used this. We've had this vacuum for 10 years. I use it almost daily and it's a powerhouse. It actually uses water to filter out everything as you're vacuuming, and then when you're done you just dump the water down the toilet and there you go. Yeah, so kind of an odd vacuum, but we love it. I took the sewing machine and put it on the corner of the rug. That rug had been placed after the lumber pile, so I need that to weigh it down. And I decided while I was there, and I've got the furnace, now I can reach it, access it. Let's change the filter out, because look, that's pretty gross. It's kind of another side quest, just a quick one. And this room was starting to look and feel so much better. We have way too many blankets, so I was just folding them up. We did end up getting rid of probably half of these blankets. And then later on, after I had filmed this video, we got a little coffee table that has storage inside where we could put all the blankets. I do want this room to be super cozy and have blankets ready and available for people, but we don't need 30. Yes, that is a traffic light. That is a story for another day. And I love, I don't know, family rooms. It's nice when you have the beautiful matching furniture and everything looks lovely. But there's something about hand-me-down couches for a teenage hangout and a giant green chair that's 20 plus years old that's so comfortable and two people can fit in that, I don't know, just more cozy. I don't know if you saw that cushion go on crooked, but I fixed it. I did fix it. All right, here is another side quest. We had added this curtain between the rooms just to add some privacy. My one daughter stays in the family room when we have guests so that her room can be used as the guest room. So we wanted some privacy. Also, when we watch movies in there, we wanted it to be a little more private. But did you see how long the end of that was? And then that was another curtain that I grabbed for the kitchen. So here are the curtains I had hung to replace the blankets. And I'm showing you how wrinkled they are. I took them out of the packages and hung them straight up. I should have known, of course, they're going to be wrinkled. And comedy of errors, the bracket for the curtain, I don't know if you saw, it just fell down behind the couch. So I did not install that one very well. So I grabbed the drill, climbed in there, grabbed the bracket, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put it back up. No, it's not that simple. This is my favorite wrinkle release spray. It's from Grove Collaborative. I get most of my cleaning supplies from Grove. I'll put a link down below because I love them. They have eco-friendly products, things that are a little healthier for your home. I'm trying to stay away from like the toxic chemicals and things. So they took a little spin in the dryer with that wrinkle release and looked a million times better. Yes, I do own an iron, but I try to use it as little as possible. Now watch that bracket. Yeah, there it goes. Again. And of course, I can't just reach it. I have to pull the couch out, climb on top. So, put it back up. Later on, my husband came and fixed it for real. Okay, this is actually my kitchen curtain. This is the side quest. I had washed, these curtains have been up in our house forever, and I love them. You know, it's like a nice linen, pretty, but they've been in the sun so long that when I washed them, the fabric was just destroyed. And I actually had an extra section of curtain that was the same kind. It was just way too long. So I had borrowed my sister's sewing machine, and here I am putting together those curtains. That is the blue one that is there to divide the rooms. Just getting it nice and short. I'm not a seamstress, you guys. This is just a super simple thing to do. In fact, you'll see in just a moment how much I'm not a seamstress, but I don't care. I'm not fixing this. It is what it is. Let's see if you can tell. So yeah, that's crooked. Don't look too closely at the bottom of the curtain. It's good enough. We're just not gonna look at that. I put that guy in the dryer for a little bit with the wrinkle release also. And then apparently I cannot get this curtain rod back up. It's gonna take me just a minute. Whoops, whoops, and whoops. But I'm persistent. And look at the cut on that. That was like the perfect length. All right, here's where we get to the secrets. When you are remodeling a house and you are trying to make room for all the supplies, you stuff them wherever, even if that is behind the couch. So there's some more baseboard back here, some more lumber, and then my daughter threw candy wrappers back there because teenagers. We also have random, that is actually a musical instrument. That's a bell kit in the case with its stand right there and a music stand. Oh, apparently the bell kit is not in the case. It's just beside it. But we're going to clean that out. One thing that we had too much of was pictures and picture frames. When you remodel, you take everything off the wall and then you have to evaluate, do you actually want it to go back onto the wall? And with a lot of these, the answer was no, but I felt like I couldn't get rid of them because it had old pictures or something inside. But I ended up taking the pictures out and keeping just the pictures. And more candy wrappers. And then donating the frames. Just knocked the bracket off again. Here I go, attempt number 4 to attach this bracket back to the wall before my husband just came and fixed it. I'm very capable. I love using a drill. I love using tools. I love being able to do things on my own. But sometimes it's so nice to just turn it over and be like, yeah, it's your turn. You fix it. He hates being on camera, so you won't see him on here very much at all, but he's absolutely there behind the scenes helping and moving furniture or whatever it is that I need. Another thing we had way too many of was games and puzzles. We love games and puzzles. We have so many that we use and that we love, but we also had a huge collection of ones that were just collecting dust. And so we donated them, sent them on to a home where they will actually be used. That's called the overwhelm dance. You just stare at it and wonder, what do I do? That relic right there is a CD player. It was a 25 disc CD changer. We still had some CDs and we were actually pretty excited to try it out. The cardboard box there, the Apple box, has a bunch of CDs in it. And so we were excited to try it out. But when we plugged it in, alas, it had succumbed to time. And it would no longer play anything. So it went in the garbage. But kind of fun to show our girls, this is how you used to have to listen to music. You couldn't just, ask your little robot on the wall that I'm not going to say her name to play it for you. And yes, there are 2 TVs. We had put one in this room and then gotten a new one for upstairs and put that in here. and our kids decided they liked the old one better, and so we swapped it back out. And it's just been this strange game of, which TV, and finally we just mounted the one that they actually use on the wall, and then have gotten rid of the extra. I can't remember why they didn't like it. They're both old. But we wanted to get rid of one of these bookcases, so I am condensing everything onto just the one bookcase, all the games that we still use and that we love, putting instructions back where they belong and pieces back where they belong. There's the box of CDs. We do have an Xbox that can play them, so we did decide to keep some of them, but I went through all of the CDs. First, I had to condense this bookshelf even more. We have DVDs up there on the top shelf, so another relic from a different time. But I went through every single one of these cases to make sure, does it have a CD inside? Does the CD actually match the case? Is it scratched? Is it one that we still want? This took forever. And I will tell you right now, I fully admit, I am aware, I am not good at decorating. My whole goal for my family, for my channel, for everything is to make a sanctuary. This is a crazy world that we live in these days. I want a safe place for my kids to come to, for their friends to come to, where they can feel safe and loved and get food if they need food, or enjoyment by hanging out and playing games and watching movies, things like that. I want a sanctuary for my family, but it's not going to be a very well decorated sanctuary. I know so many people whose talents are to make spaces look beautiful, and they know just how to put things in a space that make it feel cozy and good. And that's just not, I have so many talents, and that's not one of them. But I can provide a clean, safe space. So now we have it reduced down to just one TV. And that little thing I just moved is actually like a little fireplace that can be kind of cozy, kind of electric, cheesy, cheap fireplace, but still is cozy, and it has a nice warming feature. It's a space heater as well, so kind of fun to have in that room. The kids love it. So this filing cabinet I have had for 15 years or more, and like, who even saves paper anymore? But at some point I need to go through and get the important documents out of here because they're not actually filed in any kind of fashion. and just get rid of the filing cabinet. But for now, it's a great end table. So there it goes. This rug was rolled out at one point when there was all of this stuff in the room. Oh, just taking a moment to enjoy the space, the freedom from the clutter. Felt so good. There's our little fireplace in action. And then laying out the pictures for the wall. Finally putting some pictures back on this wall. All of these pictures are from, my husband spent some time in his growing up years in Juneau, Alaska. So these are all pictures from his time in Juneau. So we have our little Alaska wall in the basement. As I was saying, this rug is from, we rolled it out when there was still so much stuff in there and we could never get it under the furniture or positioned correctly. It was just kind of big and awkward. There's too much junk in there, so I figured it was about time to actually make the rug fit where it's supposed to, inside the room. Final once over. Tell you, it felt so good to be able to walk barefoot in this room with that. We had that saw here in the room and we used it there. We hooked up the shop vac to it so that sawdust wasn't going everywhere, but there were still slivers in the carpet, and it was so nice to just have this room dedicated to coziness. Here are the before shots. Yes, that blue tape had been there for years and years and years. One day we'll get around to painting it. That's a different project for a different video. All of the lumber. So many blankets, even on the windows. And there's that saw with the shop vac hooked up to it. Way too many games and puzzles and just stuff. And here's the after. I can tell you, it's been a couple of weeks since this has been complete, between the time of recording this voiceover and putting this video together. And my kids have kept it mostly clean. I think they are just so grateful to actually have a comfortable space that they're doing really well at cleaning up after themselves. They use it. I'm so happy about that. And then they just clean it up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and come back. We'll have more videos soon.